Hello, you degenerate old schoolers, and welcome back to another episode of The Orb. Tonight we have an Xpoints match, but before we take a look at that, look down to your bottom left and hit the like button. And also subscribe. I throw out some new videos a couple times a week. When you subscribe, you'll know when my new shit comes out. As always, thanks for watching. Now let's take a look at my opponent's deck. And here's a look at my opponent's deck. This is William's deck. He may go by Bill. I definitely know he goes by Burt. You'll see him playing as Burt Reynolds on this monthly. So I'll call him Burt. He has committed fully to hating your fucking lands. I mean, 4 Stone Rain, 4 Ice Storm, okay, 2 Blood Moon, yes. He is all in on Mana Disruption. He's all in on Mana Ramp with 3 Birds of Paradise, 3 Llanowar Elf, a Ruby, an Emerald, a Soul Ring. He's all in on a quick early game. Has those bolts out there in case you want to try and generate some of your own mana. Ankh of Mishra, penalizes your opponent. I mean, it does both sides of the table. But against a deck like this, it's really penalizing your opponent as you keep laying out mana resources. This is Xpoint, so Ankh hurts a little bit extra, I think. The decks are slower. The land destruction hurts a little bit more. And then after he gets that game plan off, he wants to jam down an Argothian Pixie or an Urnum. If it's late game, I'm sure he wants to throw out his Wheel of Fortune, or pull out his book and start reading his Sylvan Library. So that's his whole deck. He just hates what you come up with, sets you back a turn or two, slams down hopefully a big creature, and then swoops in for the win. His sideboard does include a Flash Fires, a Tsunami, 2 Black Vices, 2 Hurricanes, 2 Shatters, 2 Red Elemental Blasts, and we're hitting some spicy cards coming up here. A Copper Tablet, which I always love. Triskelion, an extra book for those slow games, Tranquility, and a Stream of Life. So, sideboard comes in as a jack of many trades. I'd imagine his probably hardest opponent is an opponent that can go wide. Someone playing mono green, mono white. Someone slamming down 1/1s or 2/2s and a bunch of them that only really needs like 2 mana to get going. That has to be a tough thing for this deck to deal with. My deck isn't very wide. Let's take a quick look at it. And here's a look at my deck for the month. It's not wide, it's actually very deep. 4 Triskelion, 4 Sarah Angel, and 4 Urnum Jinn round out how I'm going to win. 12 big beating creatures. Now, they're 4 to 6 casting cost, so they are fairly expensive. I do have 4 Llanowar Elf and 3 Birds of Paradise, along with a Soul Ring for ramp. And I need a lot of resources to get these big turrets down on the field of play and have them start just punching my opponent in the face. To clear out the way, I do have 4 Swords, 2 Wrath of God, and 2 Reincarnation, which I have pulled back a couple good creatures so far. Myriad of Land. My points are buried in the aforementioned Soul Ring, a Regrowth. I do have 4 Mishra's Factories, and then 2 Wrath of Gods. My sideboard also includes Tsunamis, 1 COP Black, 2 COP Red, which is a real thing against his deck, 2 Ice Storms, a a Spirit Link, 2 Divine Offerings, 2 Tranquility, and 3 Whirling Dervish for those mono black decks. Or those decks that don't really throw out any creatures. Big against him, like I mentioned, I think the COP Reds will play. Spirit Link could be good. He just has a few Urnums in there really for the win. But we'll see what decisions we make. Let's get off to game number 1. And here we go with game number 1. I'm on the play Shootout at Plains. My opponent fires back with a mountain. Passes to me. I drop a forest followed by a Llanowar Elf. So I am ramping. An immediate Lightning Bolt. My Llanowar Elf is sent off to the Garden of Remembrance. Bert's back on the play. He chucks down our Argothian Pixies. Okay, he has a threat on the board. I drop down another Plains. Ooh, Plains. There's not much my deck can do with 3 mana. Reincarnation's out there somewhere. I don't have anything to reincarnate. Opponent sticks in for 2, tapping 3, Ice Storm. Okay. This is an offensive. He sends my forest back to the bin. I find a Savannah. Ice Storm does set me back a turn, but not that devastating so far. Alright, his Pixie is doing some work. Pixie's in again for another 2. I'm down to 16. I'm the life total to the right of that drink. Another Stone Rain. Well, the Stone Rain. Another way to destroy my mana. He takes me off green again. I did send his Pixies back to do some farm work. Swords to Plowshares. So I sent his Pixies packing. He's at 22. I'm on 16. I play out another forest. And he's discouraging my land play with an Ankh of Mishra. He also has some mana ramp in the form of a Llanowar Elf. And I have an immediate disenchant. Ankh of Mishra is in the bin. Uh-oh, but I did not play a land. Llanowar Elf in for some work. I'm down to 15. And another Stone Rain. His deck hates your land. Or my land, specifically. Okay, here we go. I have an answer. I throw down a Desert. That will only let his Llanowar Elf get in one time before the Desert dries him up and kills him. Okay, he plays Birds of Paradise. I go to 5 cards and pass. So he's eating through all my land. I assume everything I have is 4, 5, or 6 to cast right now in my hand. Plays another Ankh of Mishra. That's a real threat. This game's moving by pretty quick, although we don't seem to be going anywhere. I'm up to 6 in hand. Opponent just passing back and forth. We're just going for overall hand size right now. Okay, Chaos Orb. That's something. Really, without any land, I don't need to fire it off. The Ankh's not doing anything to me. His creatures aren't doing anything to me. Oh, his Ankh does some work for me. He takes 2 damage by playing out a land. Puts him back on 20. And I have a full grip of cards. 7 cards in my hand. Opponent's going to 18 and playing out a strip mine. Okay, answer to the desert. Here we go. He has destroyed a lot of land. I feel like I should have a counter up here flashing by how many lands he's destroyed this game. And, you know, Land of War Elf is back punching my face. I mean, it doesn't hurt that bad, but it's getting annoying. Maybe he's like punching me in the shin or something. Okay, another disenchant on Ankh of Mishra. And some mana ramp of my own. Forest taps for a Land of War Elf for myself. My Land of War has some extra beam coming off of his face. Just by that altar. Okay, opponent's tapping 6. And Fireball. That Fireball was hot. Tagged me for a couple. I go down to 12. He comes in for another one with Land of War Elf. I go down to 11. He also burns up my Land of War Elf. So quite the effective 2-for-1. Although that video, the second one about got by, it looked like. But 2-for-1 on the Fireball. I am on a clock. It's not a bad clock with just the Land of War Elf. Opponent taps 3 for a Blood Moon. It does shut off my second green. But throughout my deck, really, it just shuts me down on Reincarnation. Which is something at this point. But, you know, if I had a bigger creature in the graveyard, it might be something even a little bit more. Okay, Birds of Paradise. Now, if I haven't played on an Urnum, you know, I need that extra mana. I'm sure I'm staring at a Trike or a Sarah. He puts me down to 9 with his Land of War Elf. And plays another Birds of Paradise. He is ramping. Uh-oh. Tapping a lot more. And now a book. Book is dangerous, right? I mean, once we're past, like, turn... What, 7, 8, 10? I hate seeing a book. I mean, unless it's me playing it. Book is nasty. So it looked like the book was a bait. We'll see. Yeah, Shatter on my Chaos Orb. That's devastating. I wanted to slow this camera rate frame down and let's take a look at a flip, but he says, fuck off, put that shit away. Rightfully so. Okay. Passes to me. I fire out a Sarah Angel. That Chaos Orb in the bin is devastating. Yeah, the book was bait. He wanted to get that thing off the board. And now the book is tapping. Okay, doing work. He spent 8 mana. He's got 1 extra card. Look at this. He's tapping 4 more for Urnum Djinn. Urnum can kill my Sarah. If he has to block to stay alive. He is up on life, though. Or I should say, if I have to block to stay alive, Urnum can kill my Sarah. She's flying around. He's up in a tree, just grabs her out of the air and beats her to death. Oh, look at this threat, though. Second Sarah Angel. That's devastating. I finally made it to the magic number of 5 mana sources. And when I did, back-to-back turns of Sarah Angel. Those are real big threats. And he is on 14, so they are staying well above the forest line. I can assure you of that. I mean, he is on green. I do always have to, you know, in the back of my head think, is there a giant growth somewhere? You know, giant growth's really effective. I I mean, it can be a great 1-for-1. You blow up those Land of War Elves or whatever it may be, and they kill a big creature. They deal that extra damage. Oh shit, look at this though. He's tapping a bunch. And Sarah Angel has just been cooked on a stick thanks to Bert. He thinks it's fucking Thanksgiving. Oh, he turns his Urnum sideways and have an immediate Swords to Plowshare, giving him 4 life. Urnum's out of the game. The lone Sarah Angel screams, "I'm in control now." She probably isn't. We shall see. She is a big threat, though. Oh, look at this. Tapping 6. No, 7. Nope, 6. Sorry. Tapping 6 for Triskelion. I think I'm deciding whether his creatures live or die. Yeah. Was that? It seemed like a really inefficient and disturbing way to murder 3 things. And that's Triskelion. Shoots all 3 rockets off, 2 Birds of Paradise, and a Land of War Elf down. I mean, the birds were solid blockers. And good to get out of the way. And here we go. He has an Urnum. Urnum is the robot slayer. Urnum's toughness being just 1 more makes it such a pain in the ass against your 4/4 robots, but Sarah Angel coming in over the top. My opponent's down to 10. I'm on 9. We have a game. Looks like I have 4 in hand. You know, the other big thing I did by taking out all those little creatures is I took them off an extra 3 mana to let them draw with the book and play an extra spell a turn. And look at this. Here we go. Reincarnation. This is magnificent. So I block the Urnum Djinn. I play Reincarnation. And my opponent plays a Lightning Bolt in response. Oh, okay. Reincarnation down. I get nothing back, but I did not take any damage that turn. I'm still on 9. And I do have a Birds of Paradise out there that's forest walking. I'll watch out for that sneaky bastard. Oh, look at this. Another 6 for Trike number 2. Oh, this is devastating news. Bird is behind. He will not be able to attack. Really, I don't... Man, once I get in again with that Sarah, I can just pop off those counters. And that's going to be possibly it. Let's see what he has. His turn. He still has that book. Does have a handful of cards in hand. Okay, he comes in with Urnum. I block, chuck those rocket arms right at my opponent. He's down on 3. Does he have an answer for the Sarah? Draw him with the book. Wow. He slowed my deck down a ton, but, you know, without a finishing move, I'm still on 9. The Urnum didn't cut it. I got too many big creatures out. So I'm sure we'll both swap out some cards and take a look at game number 2. So I'm up 1-0. Those big beaters came in, got the job done. Bert's on the play. He did have to mulligan one. And look at this. He just plows through 4 cards. Mountain, Ruby, Emerald, into Black Vice. I think he saw me holding on to 7 cards a bunch last game through all his mana denial. So Black Vice in from the board and doing heavy lifting quick. Puts me down to 17. I fire off a Forest, but pass with 7. He's tapping 3 and says, pack your fucking dumb Forest up and send it off. I fire out of Plains, but I'm already down to 14. Black Vice has done 6 damage. Pass back to my opponent. He plays another Forest and taps 4. Look at this, playing out a book. This is terrifying. I have 1 mana source. Oh, I do fire down a Mishra's Factory into a Chaos Orb. So that's an answer for Vice if I absolutely have to. I don't want to use it on it. I need to use it on that book, and book is doing heavy lifting again. He taps 4. Oh, this is brutal. I go down to 9. Black Vice has done 11 to me. This game is just cooking along. Third mana source out for me. It's another Plains. Tapping 1. I think we're going to go ahead and see a flip here. Yeah, I'm clearing the board for Chaos Orb. I'm sure I have to be calling on this Black Vice. It's done 11 to me. Although the book is just about as dangerous. It's the silent but deadly killer. So we had full rotation, clean hit. Book is down. Black Vice is staying. I still have 6 cards in hand. Bolt to the face on my instep. Opponent says, let me rearrange your face. And he shoves life total down to 6. I mean, this game has just started and is about over. Regrowth Bolt. I go to 3. Still with 6 cards in hand. Go to 1. Don't sneeze in my direction. I will succumb to even the smallest of disease or peril. I have to get rid of 2 cards, right? Actually, more. 3. I just drew up to 7. I need to go to 4 cards in hand. I have a high curve for all my cards, or the majority of cards in this deck. I think the Vice is just squeezing me to death right here. Yep, packing it in. Packing it in. Black Vice is the MVP, followed by a Bolt, Regrowth Bolt. This is over. Bert says there will be game number 3. I'll do it again if I have to. I love it. Let's take a look at game number 3. And here we go, all in with game number 3. In case you missed the last few minutes, Bert kicked in the door, punched me in the face a few times, suplexed me back out of a window, and took down game number 2 in a hurry. I fire a Forest. He does the same into a Llanowar Elf. I kick down a Mishra's Factory and play my own Llanowar Elf. So, 2 can play at this game. Bert drops a Mountain. And a Bolt straight to the Llanowar Elf's face. My Llanowar Elf has been murdered. His Llanowar Elf sneaks in for 1. I go down to 19. I see my Factory in for 2. Back on the offensive, put him down to 18. tapping 4 already. Turn 3, he lays out an Urnum. Big beater down. Threats on the board. I need to come up with an answer. Second factory. There's an answer. Urnum of my own. Let's see if that turns his Urnum into a blocker. So Ernie hands out Forest Walk like we hand out candy on Halloween. It can be terrifying though. He gives it to my Urnum. Don't know if I want to lose my Urnum. Let's see. Okay, offer up the block. Does he have it? Opponent's tapping 2. Oh, fireball for 1. Well played. I fell for the bait. My Urnum is down. He's adding insult to injury with with an Ankh of Mishra. I have no one left on my side to receive Forest Walk. I like it when my creatures get Forest Walk. Oh, but look at this. Strip mine in. I'll take 2. I take him off red. That is important. That does shut his deck down some. I'm tapping everything, sending the factories in. Turns out they have their own set of lead pipes. They go do some beating. Put Bert down to 14. Oh, look at this. He swings back. He's in for 4 with his Urnum, and Ice Storm just bleeds out a factory. He's dead in the street. Factory's in the bin. I'm down to 3 mana. I guess really my opponent has access to the same. Oh, I take another 2. Put out a Savannah. I'm down to 11. Bert's on 14. This game's moving along quickly. He's got 2 threats on the board. One, Urnum. Big bad badass. And then Llanowar Elf, who is like a little puppy dog that can bite some ankles. At 1 a turn. Now he's up to 5 a turn with his 2 creatures, is what he can deal in. I'm on 11. I got 3 turns to get something done, and look at this. He has another answer. Ice Storm burns out my second point, my second Mishra's Factory is now sitting in the bin. He's in for 5. I'm down to 6. Third Mishra's Factory, I go to 4. I mean, at this point, he's just a valid blocker, and that's it. I really needed like a White Source, Wrath of God, Swords to Plowshare. I need something, and I need it quickly. He's on 12, but he is Bert's days and years ahead of me. Uh-oh. Activate Factory. Block. Yeah. Okay, so I don't take 4. Opponent's down to 10, and he hurricanes for 4. Oh, shit. Look at this. Not even a chance. Sarah Angels die in my hand. Good game. Bert takes it. Bert and his I Hate Lands deck. 2-1. Thanks for watching The Orb.